Come, let us explore this morning's meditation class and group practice that we too could meditate like a Jedi. This morning's lesson is drawn from the 7th verse, or the 7th passage of Refining Ore into Gold, composed many centuries ago by Vajra, who at that time lived in Odinaya, but that region is now known as the Swat Valley of Pakistan. Together, let us relaxingly recite. The mind and its karmic predispositions are mixed and non-dual. All subjectively conceived phenomena appear as ornaments, neither renounced nor abandoned. One rejoices in this state by the method of non-thinking. There's a lot of information here, and the only way it's going to make sense is within the context of the essential teachings, the essential method. So let's explore that for a few moments. Every moment, with every breath, we are given a choice. Do we passively cooperate with our Buddha nature, or do we actively compete against it? Every time we rely upon our medial or dorsolateral prefrontal cortex to overly focus or overanalyze, we exhaust our prefrontal cortex, the front of our brain. We set ourselves up to present with symptoms of depression, and we trigger our amygdala, the seat of both anxiety and aggression. However, when we passively cooperate with our autonomic nervous system that the ancients refer to as our Buddha nature, we calm our amygdala. We gently stimulate the anterior cingulate gyrus, which functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy, that which transforms our dread into compassion and our desire into love. Or perhaps a better way of saying it is that it takes our desire and uses it to fuel our love, and it takes our dread and uses it to fuel our compassion. So at this point, passively cooperating with our autonomic nervous system might sound like a pretty good deal, but how do we do that? Every time we eat, let's try this again. Each time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation, we have evolved to automatically access the sympathetic facet of our autonomic nervous system, ensconced within the middle third of our spinal cord. This bad boy has evolved to help us to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. That's right. Instead of falling into the trap of indulging our controlling tendencies where we pick and choose what we notice and what we ignore, we are vulnerable to whatever comes up, all manner of phenomena, be they external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. But that hints at the next question: what are we to do with that which we notice? Every time we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we have evolved to automatically access the parasympathetic facet of that same autonomic nervous system, divided between the upper third and the lower third of our spinal cord. It has evolved to support the physical relaxation and mental release of that which we noticed during our previous inhalation, to such a degree that it could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, and less defining. And that's a literal perspective. Figuratively, it could feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void, like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could look tantalizing to the eye, feels as non-graspable to the hand. So let's tie this up in a big red bow. The most efficient way for us to passively cooperate with our autonomic nervous system is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation, and to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. This does not have to be a great ordeal. We could practice it for as little as 5 minutes once every 12 hours or so. We could practice it while lying down, briskly walking, or even sitting as we are right now. Now that we've reviewed the basics, let's go over to this morning's lesson text. The mind and its karmic predispositions are mixed and non-dual. So, for instance, as we relax into our exhalation, whatever happiness or sorrow we might have noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as if it was melting in the simplicity of just emotion. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever hate or kindness we might have experienced during our previous inhalation could feel as if they were melting into the simplicity of just intention. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever sharpness or intellectual sharpness or dullness we might have noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as if they were melting into the simplicity of just thought. By the way, last night, me and my partner began rewatching Idiocracy, which seems like an apropos thing to do. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever accurate or inaccurate, sharp or vague memories we might have experienced during our previous inhalation could feel as if they were melting into the simplicity of just recollection. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever peaceful or tumultuous imaginings we might have noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as if they're melting into the simplicity of just imagination. So non-duality is always to be taken figuratively. Many centuries ago, the great Buddhist South Indian philosopher Nagarjuna reminded us that with every inhalation, we are wired to notice the conventional world without and within. And with every exhalation, we have evolved to relax our grasp on the external and internal as if they were non-graspable, as if they defied grasping, like the sky, or like the reflection of the moon in a basin of water. When we notice strong impulses to do kind or to do cruel things, to do wise things or do foolish things, those predispositions are neither an indictment nor an acquittal. They just are, and like all things, they're temporary. How do we cope with them? We do not cope with them by telling ourselves pseudo-spiritual stories. We cope with them by passively cooperating with our autonomic nervous system. During our inhalation, cooperating with our body's tendencies to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. And with our exhalation, cooperating with our body's tendencies to relax even just a little bit, even just momentarily, even just until the next inhalation. And so the question of our spirituality is not what we experience or how strong we experience it or for how long we experience it. The test of our spirituality is what do we do with our experience? Do we notice it? Do we relax? And persist with that habit, with that pattern, for as long as it appears, until the next thing comes up, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, until life is over. Enlightenment is not the absence of things coming up. Enlightenment is simply mastery of the path. Mastery of noticing and relaxing to such a degree that we cannot help but notice change, that we cannot help but experience the impulse to practice interpersonal kindness, kindness of communication, kindness of intention, kindness of communication, kindness of conduct, as well as kindness of commerce. That we practice mindfulness and meditation, noticing and relaxing to such a degree that it causes our choices, utterances, and deeds to flow with a very special type of centeredness. Not the scattered type, but the centered type. Enlightenment is simply mastery of the Eightfold Path. Practice mindfulness and meditation, the seventh and eightfolds, and the remaining sixthfolds take care of themselves. Getting so good at this that we practice it spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively, that's just another word for enlightenment. Now, does that mean you know everything about everything? No. It just means you've gotten good at the basic practice. That's all a Buddha is. Now, someone who's truly mastered the point of teaching it, that's something a little different. That's a fully qualified Lama, which is a rare thing. And it's easy to do. It just takes time and effort. But that's beside the point. So getting back to the idea of karmic predispositions, we will notice impulses and we will relax. And that prevents us from giving into them. Any man who's ever tried to practice, let's talk about sexuality. Some men have difficulty with premature ejaculation, which can be a bummer for their partner. So a trick is when one senses one's body preparing to ejaculate, one simply relaxes. That makes ejaculation an impossibility. Similarly, if one feels very, very angry and they're about to lose their temper, if they physically relax, that makes having an outburst of wrath or a temper tantrum an impossibility. We are already wired for kindness. We have a secondary reward system in our underbrain that is oxytocin oriented, that rewards for cooperation. And the part of our brain between our forehead and the center of the brain, there's tissue that is the seat of empathy. So we are wired for cooperation and compassion. It's already wired into us. We don't have to make it. We just have to allow it. We do that by cooperating with the vulnerability of our inhalation and cooperating with the relaxation of our exhalation. Let's continue with the word all. All subjectivity, let's try this again. All subjectively conceived phenomena appear as ornaments, neither renounced nor abandoned. So renounced or abandoned are just used synonymously here as a way of poetic emphasis. One rejoices in this state by the method of non-thinking. So non-thinking here is not a reference to repressing our thoughts. Thoughts are not the enemy of enlightenment, nor are they the catalyst. We cannot repress our way to enlightenment. We cannot think our way to enlightenment. We cannot believe our way to enlightenment. We cannot disbelieve our way to enlightenment. So this is here to remind us that instead of indulging our controlling tendencies and trying to think our way to nirvana, which never works and just exhausts us, so this also is important. So what I'm going to do is tap button 9, return to the visual aids. Sturgeon's law reminds us that 90% of everything sucks, including meditation teachers. So 90% are rightists, born or conditioned to be rightists, people who think it's a splendid thing to be rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel. When we indulge our controlling tendencies and try to believe our way to nirvana or try to think our way to nirvana, it triggers our amygdala, which is the seat of anxiety and aggression. But when we do the opposite, when we indulge our tendencies to be laid back and to be flexible, and when we do that by noticing in harmony with our inhalation and relaxing in harmony with our exhalation, then we're able to notice all manner of things. All that we notice, all the sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings could feel as inconsequential as ornaments placed on a Christmas tree in December. They aren't the tree itself. They're just inconsequential. the more we notice and relax, the less our sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings define us. We might feel anger come, but we'll also feel it go. We might feel fear come, but we also feel it go. We might feel peace, but we also feel that come and go. And so we feel less defined by our moment-by-moment experience. We feel less of a victim of the present moment and more like an audience member enjoying a really good play, sometimes making us laugh, sometimes making us cry, often within the same production, in the same evening, like a good playwright would. Having completed our opening lesson, let us now shift gears. It is Rey Skywalker's Sunday morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. After approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is the Dzogchen Semde Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I have harnessed my autistic special interests as well as my ADHD hyperfocus to spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I can become your personal, nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. For the remainder of this morning's live stream, let's play with the latest iteration of very easy meditation practice text, or sadhana, if you're nasty. By the way, this text and the text we just played for are available for immediate and free download, just by clicking the appropriate links. The most sustainable way of gently inviting our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce behind our navel is to rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger, palms up in our lap. Similarly, the most efficient way for us to count 12 repetitions of our 12 inhalations is for us to advance our right thumb. Thusly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You'll find that each set of 12 repetitions or 12 inhalations takes about 60 to 70 seconds. Having completed our bonus set of 12 inhalations, we can count an additional 12 sets on the creases of our left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And so it should come as a little surprise that counting 12 sets of 12 repetitions takes about 12 minutes. The most sustainable way to gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in our chest is to gently rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. The most sustainable way to gently invite our real or imagined subtle energy to coalesce at our crown is for us to rest the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger, palms up in our lap. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. Oopsie, wrong button. In about 10 hours, I guess more like In about 9 3/4 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's dusk meditation class as well as group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.